Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel, and today we do one of those blasts from the past with this guy, Cybertron Hardtop. And he's going to be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe. And while you're at it, light up my baby, hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton, and it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that is in the description down below, also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. You can check us out on Patreon. You can see what we have to offer to you through spring. Or, of course, you can hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member. And this is, of course, Cybertron Hardtop. I had no idea who this was. I'm not going to lie. Anybody who knows me knows I'm not typically a Unicron Trilogy fan. There's a lot of characters there that I don't know. And while I've watched, owned the series numerous times, none of the plot points stick with me. Nothing. The dialogue, man, the dialogue. But some of the offerings in plastic are pretty great. This was a scout class lad on loan to us by a good buddy of the channel, Maximal 10. And when I first saw it, I was like, is this some sort of a weird beachcomber? And indeed, it was used as a shattered glass beachcomber, basically. But it's a Decepticon. The guy collects comic books. I like the little dune buggy alt mode. But just how good is he? How good's that transformation? What is the articulation like from back in 2005, I think this guy came out. So without any further ado, how about pretty quickly, let's head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. And yes indeed, thanks to our buddy Maximal 10, we're taking a look at Cybertron Scout Class Hardtop. He was redecoed to be used as apparently his brother Swindle. I don't know a lot about the Unicron trilogies everybody knows. I know that this guy was part of the second wave of Scout class offerings. And it's so funny because he's pretty large. I mean, there's some kind of more modern deluxes that are, you know, kind of this size. Like, oh, how things change over time. He, of course, comes with the Cyber Planet key. I'm pretty sure his Cyber Planet key, though, is supposed to have gold on it. I have one here that has silver on it. It's not the right one, but it's pretty reminiscent of it. And if it is the right one and the gold is incorrect, then I apologize. I'm not going to lie. I don't know the different Cyber Planet keys. You know, it's not my thing, right? I do, however, love this alt mode. My understanding is this isn't an official buggy. I find it funny that his name is Hardtop and he has like a roll cage thing up there, but it's not really a hard top, right? The Cyber Planet key, I'll show what that does in a minute. I'm also led to believe that this guy wasn't released in Japan as part of the Galaxy Force line, if I'm not mistaken. I think he just came out in Japan as like an e-hobby exclusive or something, so it's kind of weird if you ask me. I also think he's supposed to, or was maybe in BotCon or something like that. I think this mold was repurposed as shattered glass beachcomber, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw it, I wondered if it was some sort of a beachcomber because I didn't know what it was. So, kind of how good is this? How well has this guy been able to stand up over the test of time? Well, first things first, I'm gonna take this Cyber Planet key just out of the way so we can look at sort of the main boy here by himself. I don't have any packaging or anything, so we have none of that, but he rolls pretty well. The very bottom scrapes a little bit, but I might not have that angled exactly right. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have any instructions either, so a bit of this is a wish and a prayer, right? But he rolls okay. You gotta really get the tires in the kind of exact right spot. And there's something here with this waist that I'm sure I'm doing a little bit wrong. It's a little, I don't want to say finicky or fiddly. It's just, it has to be precise, that's all. And I might have these kind of tabbed in just slightly. So this here is in a, I'm going to say 5mm, maybe 3mm port. There's a port up right here, and this goes in it. If you're interested in knowing what the Cyber Planet key does when you put it in there, yeah, when you put it in there, it extends the blaster. Apparently this guy's supposed to be like a really good like sniper, so this is like his blaster sniper mode. So we're just going to lay that aside. That's all the Cyberplanet key does in this case. So there's not much left to say about the vehicle mode. Let's kind of get into the transformation for this comic collector Decepticon. I know he collects comics. I always thought that was kind of strange. And in terms of the coloration and score stuff and whatnot, we'll do that after. So really we begin by folding down the legs, and we can bring these tires up on the sides, split the legs, and rotate the waist around. Great. Then we can pick these sections up off the side, and the whole kind of bottom section here totally flips up around, and then this black piece flips up on the front, and the purple piece that was out here tabs in down there on the back, I guess, to kind of finish the pelvis. The arms open up and come down on the side. Oh, the tires go around to the back, and then the arm comes down on the side. The tire here goes around to the back on what feels like a ratchet, and then this comes down on the side and opens down all the way on the side and opens down. And really, in the end, boom, here we have him in his robot mode. I'm going to stand him up and just readjust things ever so slightly. Alright, so let's kind of talk about his coloration. We're going to have to give him a 10 because really the only references we have is the release of this guy. Although, to be fair, there was a bonus version of him in 2006, and in 2008 he was part of a multi-pack where he was redecoed. But this was the original, and the only fiction that I really know for the guy is from Timelines, which I think was like maybe a BotCon thing or whatever. And this is like pretty darn accurate to that. So I'm going to say a 10 for the coloration almost by default. The transformation, I like the like dune buggy things. I always find them fun, so I find this transformation fun. The waist does a flip around, and it got a peg in and unpeg. The tires on the side move. The simplicity of what we do with the arms is nice, and the whole kind of torso like really sort of flips around on itself. It's actually fairly involved. I'm going to give that a 10. Let's get then to the articulation. So a 10 and a 10. Oh, by the way, just out of interest's sake, there is a peg right here, and of course you can hold it in his hand. I'm not going to do it now because I have it extended, but you get the idea. And I guess, maybe there wouldn't be any storage. I guess if it's not in his hand, then it's not in his hand. The articulation, the head goes left and right. The arms can go all the way, not all the way around, I don't think. It doesn't feel like quite all the way around, but everything you're going to need. Out to the side a ton and way off because of transformation. Elbow, super deep. No bicep swivel. That's a little bit of a bummer, but I do like the hinge elbow. At the wrist, we don't have anything. Guy got a waist. We got leg all the way forward. We got leg all the way back. And we have very, very deep knee. No thigh swivel, no ankle. So, pretty darn good for the time that he came out in, 2005 or so. Like, it was pretty good. Not perfect. I mean, a thigh swivel would be nice, a bicep swivel would be nice, an ankle would be nice, a wrist would be nice. For something that's a scout class, I can get it past the ankle and the wrist. I'm realistic. But a thigh would have been nice, and a bicep would have been nice. I'm going to say that the articulation overall is quite good. You can do a lot with it. I'm going to give it a, we'll say an 8. So a 10, and an 8. Overall, this guy's a solid 9, maybe 9.25. It is fun. He's not perfect, but he is absolutely fun. And here we are once again, and here he is. And I like him. He's not perfect. The transformation is super duper fun. The alt mode is really great. I have never been a big fan of like stuff being spring-loaded with the Cyberplanet keys, but I'll give credit where credit is due. I do like that this one is simplistic enough that it doesn't like hinder or limit or really affect the main character, just the accessory. I think that's a good way of doing it, a smart way of doing it. While I think the transformation is good, while I think the coloration is great, the articulation is pretty good for the time. That being said, I am disappointed that there's no thigh swivel, and I'm disappointed that there's no bicep swivel. I can get over no wrist, I can get over no ankle, but we know because of ball joints that were used in things like Beast Wars before this, that those joints existed. I am sure at this time we had mushroom pegs. The guy has a waist. I think we could have fit in both a thigh swivel and a bicep swivel. The thighs are on ball pegs. So you'd figure they'd have more, like there's a wiggle, but maybe the cut should have been a little deeper or something. Still, even with those couple of very minor nitpicks, those very minor articulation limits, all these years later, this guy, and this is 2022 as of this recording, this guy is still pretty fun. Fun to convert back and forth, fun to pose, fun to look at. What more could you want from a Transformer? Let me know what you think about Cybertron Hardtop. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. You can check us out on Patreon. You can see what we have to offer to you through spring. Or of course, you can hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button, stick around, have some fun with us here on the channel, and don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single day you do make a difference in the world, and I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos.